Welcome to Command's Corner. Monday night, 9 p.m. Eastern. You know what it is. Oh, wrong show. Shoot, sorry, guys. It is 1 p.m. Eastern, and this is the Doctor's Orders on the Dr. Nick's Amazing Man Stuff YouTube channel. As you guys come in, I think we're going to have a lot of fun today, a lot of excitement, a lot of reflection. Please hit that thumbs up, the like button. Let's go. Share this out to some new friends, especially if you're new here. I would like to do an introduction. My name is Dancy Bearden. I am the co-host of this show, and my job is to simply pull the curtains back and let you guys get to know this company, the people behind it, the products that they put out. That's it. That's the entire purpose of this live stream. And if you're new here, there's a whole catalog of interesting episodes that I hope you guys check out, and some very exciting ones coming in the future. With that said, I said co-host, so you got to have somebody else. The other co-host of this show is the Doctor of Time and Space, the U.S. National reigning, defending beard and mustache champion, the man with a sexy hat. You guys didn't know where I was going with that one. A sexy hat on, fresh ink all over, living his life's purpose. He is fulfilled. You will never hear a negative tone from this man because his bucket is full. This man is named Nick Phelps, a.k.a. the co-owner, the founder of Dr. Nick's Amazing Man Stuff, the doctor himself, Nick. Nick, how you doing?
I'm going to record that one because that was like, I feel like you need a spare mic just so you can like drop one, like don't drop your good one, but definitely drop one of them. Yeah, see, lowering is fine because it's
not as dramatic.
Control. Well, what is up, everyone? I am Dr. Nick. I wear the clock, so Dan knows what time it is.
Oh.
And here we are. Another Tuesday, 1 o'clock. Command's Corner was awesome last night. I think most of you guys were there. And for all of you that were there, thank you so damn much for that love you showed last night. Like, I could not, before it even got to customer feedback, I couldn't keep up last night. And we're going to go into all of that and talk about a bunch of stuff from last night, talk about a bunch of stuff coming up, talk about some new things like the thing I got on my head right now. And man, it's just going to be an exciting episode. I'm pumped for this one today, man. This is going to be great.
Oh yeah. And thank you. I mean, so many people in here that were there. Leo, we were actually reading your comment before the stream started, and it really resonated with both of us. He said, "Hello, that was quite the corner yesterday. I don't remember one so thoroughly focused." And I will say, I definitely go on tangents. That's nothing I hide. It's nothing that I'm like sensitive about. I actually like it sometimes. I think it's fun, but I didn't even think about that. Nick didn't even think about that. But when Leo dropped that comment, it was kind of like, yeah, it was.
It was incredibly focused. And what was interesting, I feel like, is usually the tangents come from the audience in Command's Corner.
Oh, for
people
sure.
Bring things up, they throw things in, and that's what you want, right? That's how things go. What was interesting is you were trying to move topics forward last night, and people were like keeping you focused on certain things by just keeping it going. You're like, all right, we'll come back to this, but okay, we got to get to.
Yeah. Well, I knew there was a lot. It's like, how do I talk about? And guys, we're just rolling right into it, but we're just kind of reflecting on last night, and we'll see where the show takes us. Today will be a good chance for you guys to ask questions, but how do I talk about? And this is just, again, me. I love Leo's comment here. Yeah, holding the chin curtains back. Yeah, good word.
Pulling back the curtains.
Right. And I really like, how do you talk about Dr. Nick's without talking about the oil blend? Okay, got to get that. All right. How do you do it without talking about giving back to the homeless? How do you do it without talking about the shipping with the team behind? Like, there's so many things where I'm like, I know a lot of people have heard things, but there's always new people. There's always new things to focus on. I literally don't know how I can cover a Command's Corner without hitting all of those. Like, I contemplated not bringing up the balm stick. And I'm like, how do I do that when there's no real other companies? There's a scattered couple of them on the peripheral, but nobody else is really doing that. And it's so different. I love differentiation. If you guys don't know that, love what makes companies stand out. If I have an affiliate, I genuinely believe they have something unique. And with Dr. Nick's, it's like, how do I not cover all these things? It's kind of absurd. And so Yeah, it
It's
was
so cool to
focused.
hear, like that we created something here that's actually it's got enough dimensions where even in a 2.5 hour long stream, it's hard to talk about all of them, because I feel like everyone's got something cool, right? I mean, the reason you go to market with something is you got something different, you got something unique.
Right.
And I feel like, you do a great job of capturing that with other companies that you deal with. And it's interesting because the differences, I guess, with us, it covers so many different things, from the product to the way that we do things to the way we interact with our community of
Yeah.
people, and and just the things we do. It's interesting in the sense to realize that you have created that many differences, and there's
Right.
that much stuff, because when you do it every day, you don't think you're doing anything different because you're doing things the same way you did it yesterday, so it's when you kind of start off doing things a certain way and you scale it and grow it and keep doing it that way, nothing really feels different, even though it's busier. You know what I
Right.
mean? And so it's hard for us to realize some of those unique things. So when we hear people talk about what they appreciate about working with us, it's invigorating, because it makes you realize that the things that you kill yourself doing every day are noticed, and people see it.
Yeah, it's so true. And one thing I want to point out real quick, guys, we're probably just gonna be bouncing around in different topics about last night in the company. And so if you have comments, reflections, questions, please feel free to drop them at any time. One thing that kind of stood out to me last night, and just exactly what you're talking about, you see what you do every day, right? It's like when you go through positive or negative changes, it's harder to see when you see every increment, right? If somebody hasn't seen your son in 2 years, they're gonna be like, oh my gosh, he's grown so much. But for you guys, it's just little bits of growth. The company's the same way. And one thing that I love is that I love when companies support other companies, right? And one thing that Nick has always been very forward and upfront about, and also it's definitely symbiotic. To give an example, is True North Beard Co. Right? You're both East Coast. You're both Boston boys. You're both like great people, and you both support each other. Right? True North is in your chat right now. They were showing love in Command's Corner last night, and I don't know if a lot of people know, but you've literally personally recommended True North to people before when they're like, "Hey, I need a strong cologne scent. Who do I go with?" You yourself have recommended True North. You're muted here, Nick.
Yeah, it's in our Instagram, it's in our YouTube comments. I mean, it's in our emails. We've recommended them a number of times. So I mean, it's we have to hold each other up and realize that none of us are everything to everybody. And unless you want someone going, I would rather, if we don't have something that works for somebody, I would rather them buy it from True North than to
Yep.
buy it from someone that pays 52 cents a bottle cost and sells it on Amazon. Like, 1,000%. It does great things for our community. It keeps people in our community, and it keeps people buying a quality product that's good for their beard and made from someone that cares about it and made in small batches. And that's, if I had a choice to see someone go one way or the other, I would 1,000% see them go see True North.
No doubt. And I
All
have
day.
more to say on that, guys, but I gotta hit another comment real quick. And just so you guys know, I brought that up. Nick didn't. He doesn't recommend them to get love, to get status, to get clout, or anything like that. He tells me in private, and there will be times where Nick is like, "Hey, this person wants this. Can you give a recommendation?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, True North. Oh yeah, Beard Octane. Oh yeah, go with this one." And we throw out those loves. So we will come back to this real quick. This is what our community is all about here. Judd the Stud said, Thursday, the company I've been with for the last 25 years was sold. On Friday, they announced that 20% of the company will be cut. Next meeting in 20 minutes. So thankful for this community. Oh, man. Judd, I'm sorry that you're going through that. As a person that I've gotten to know and the heart that you have, I cannot imagine any company thinking that you're expendable in any situation. I don't care if it was they were only keeping 20% of the company. There's no way they let you go. And if they do, whatever company gets you out next, they are going to be finding the best hidden gem that they could ever imagine. And I mean that. I have some amazing private conversations with Judd. He has one of the biggest hearts I've ever interacted with, and heart can take you very far. Brains can take you a certain way.
Yeah.
Heart can take you much, much, much farther, especially if you care about what you're doing. So, Judd, regardless of what happens, I know there's going to be positive outcomes from this. I absolutely know that. And I'm not just saying that to you. They're not going to let you go. And if they do, so be it. Whoever bought that company is a moron. And
Yeah.
they're going to make a big mistake if anything happens, and the next company that gets you is going to be lucky.
Dude, everything happens for a reason, Judd. And you know what I mean? This could be one of those things that keeps you there because you were supposed to be there and they realize it.
Right.
Or it could be one of those things where you have better things out there for you and you wouldn't have pursued them unless something forced you to go do it. So, I mean, it's one of those weird things, dude, where some of the biggest advancements I've made career-wise in the past have been from switching companies, and especially ones from where I was comfortable, you know?
Yes, and a million times. The best moves in my life have been the scariest ones.
Yeah, exactly right. Like someone told me a while back, if you don't wake up in the morning just a little bit scared of what you're about to do, that means you're too comfortable and you should be looking to do something different. And so it's not always the case, but man, when it happens, you just got to listen to it. You know, it's one of those things. But I agree with Dan, man. It's like you can train people to do tasks, right? Brains, right? You can put new things in them. You can't change what's in someone's personality and in their DNA from doing the right thing, being dedicated, being supportive. All the things that you are things that company cannot train people to do. So, you know, as a business owner, I value that way beyond. I value how people solve problems, how they interact with people they work with, and me and our customers. Like, those are the things that matter. Like, you can learn how to do anything, but the stuff you can't train, that's why you keep people.
Yep. And that's why I am not afraid of AI. I embrace it. I welcome it. But there's things you cannot train AI to do that Judd can do, that Nick can do, that I can do. And so, and last thing I'll say, Judd, on this one, man, I'm glad you're able to come in here. Hopefully a little jolt of positivity for you. Also, if the time ever is needed, you got a vast community of networking that you can tap into. And I know any of us would go to bat for you, my friend. So if you ever need something, you know where to get a hold of me. Don't hesitate. I promise we will do our best to put you in the position you need. All right. So go lead with some confidence, go lead with some positivity. And hey, it's going to be an amazing outcome regardless. Beautiful. Dude,
keep us in the loop, man.
Yes, please.
Fingers crossed for you, bud.
Please. All right. This is what actually prompted me to think about True North. And you were talking about doing stuff, you know, in a vacuum, doing stuff and just seeing like, oh man, are we really doing something different? Are we really doing something special? You guys actually have something in common that's very unique for the industry. I don't even know if there's any others out there like it. You both started your company before the current version of the community. Now, the community really evolved as I started getting in. And I'm not saying it's because of me. I'm just talking about like my progression and journey. When I first started watching videos, when I first started like making videos, there was no real set community. You had viewers, you had commenters, you had a couple of big channels, but there were not live streams. There were not real big Facebook groups. There were not things that we see that we have them today. And a lot of people have added into progressing and making this happen. When you and True North started, both of you years and years ago were before there was any established community, before there was common to have like these small batch companies. Both of you kind of took a little break, took a little bit of distance, and then came back to this whole new landscape of the beard industry where there is a community, there is knowledge, there is a progression in products and understanding, and it's truly a whole new world. And it's really cool to see you guys both grow, both do your own thing. And it's that unique perspective where you've been doing this, you know, business, you know how to get products. And now you're able to hyper focus on the little things that matter, like customer relationships, like building to the future and growing and not just penny pinching and following trends and really doing your own thing. I think that's really cool and really unique about both you guys. But especially when I think about you, it's not a concept of like, hey, this is going on, we need to do that. Hey, this is going on, we need to change that. All those things that I said I have to talk about on Commands Corner, they're just you. Like, they're unique to this company. And it's amazing, right? Barrage oil. I never experienced barrage oil or of any kind of potency before trying your company. Balm stick. First time I experienced balm stick. First company I knew giving back to the homeless off the top of my head. I'm sure there's others that exist, guys. I'm just talking about like what pops in
personal
head.
Experience.
Yeah. And it's really cool to think about how that's all come along and think about that journey and the unique perspective that it offers you guys.
Yeah. And, you know, you can tell that we're doing something similar too. and not by, and it's interesting, it's actually not by the positive side of the community, and it's not even by looking at our products or our labels. Something that I actually noticed that tells me that Chris and I are doing something in a similar way. We're doing different things, right? But we're doing them in similar ways because we have the same haters.
You do, yeah.
And you know what's funny is we have the same haters for the same reasons. And I swear it's just we're doing things the way we know they should be done. And it's hard to change a ship that hasn't been operating that way to start operating like that. And so I think the same detraction that we get publicly at Dr. Nick's, I've seen the same come to Chris, and I kind of just chuckle when I see it too, because I'm like, oh well, I guess Chris is doing something right. He's pissing off people the same way that we are.
Yeah, and you guys have that Boston little edge to it too. That
yeah,
makes
we
it
like
fun.
that. Little does anybody know that actually fuels our fire almost more than anything else, because we're like, oh, you don't like that? How come you don't like that?
Yeah, no, so funny.
Does that bug you when I do that? How about that? Does that bug you?
In grooming, Nick and Chris did not know each other, but they have similar circles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We didn't know each other beforehand, but we've, we were joined together by the community here and by everything we do. It's cool to see, right? I mean, like any other people could probably see it's like, oh, you sell stuff in a bottle that's for beards. I sell stuff in a bottle that's for beards. Like, I want to take your business and I don't like you,
right?
But the way we look at it is, oh, cool. You do things this, and this way, and these are the people you cater to. It's like awesome. When someone asks me for that, I'm going to shoot them your way because that's not what we do.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
That's where that stuff gets cool, man. Because there's just, like I've said before, there's room enough for all of us, and especially when we work together and help each other out. I mean, that just feels good.
It is. And Leo, yeah, he says, great point about the community. I hadn't thought about it before, but useful perspective. Yeah, it's super interesting to think about companies existing before it and then coming back to it. And another massive part of this company, and everything's related, guys. Dr. Nick's obviously had an amazing night last night, but it's for so many like I couldn't even begin to tell you how many reasons add up to that, right? It's the products are great, the customer service, the marketing, there's so much to it. And Julie, aka the mother of the doctor himself, says, don't forget the genius of Jill in creating the prices. The genius of Jill is another kind of major, not even just milestone, but turning point of this company from obviously everything she does, but to hey, can I be a part of changing the carrier blend? Hey, what about new scents? Can I create these? Because when the company was started, Jill was not in the picture, right? You actually kind of met and talked with her, helping getting your products out there as a bartender, and getting them out to men, which is so cool. And then Jill comes in and is like, I really want to formulate like actual good stuff. And Jill did not come from the community, right? Jill did not watch other companies. She said, hey, let's make a butter with aloe butter and saw butter and all these other things. Let's add in marula oil. Let's do, instead of something like grapeseed that's kind of common, let's do sunflower, which is an amazing one. And then, hey, what about the steeping process of essential oils? What about, like, if you guys get to sit in on some of these behind the scene meetings like I do and hear Jill vibe back and forth with Nick or discuss things with me, the amount of impressive is I can't really articulate, because she is that talented, and she really, above all, cares about what these products are going to do.
God, she 1,000% true, man. And like, it's just funny because like people ask me about working, with my wife and all this other stuff. And I'm like, man, she gets more and more attractive every single day because of that beautiful brain of hers. And just the way she operates, the way that she integrates things into our product line, and the way that she just improves processes and makes things happen. And no matter how big the mountain in front of her is, she somehow still always gets it done. And we collaborate the whole time through it. So I mean, it's just it wouldn't be anything close to what it is today unless it was both of us working on it. It's like
facts.
It needed the two perspectives and the other perspectives that we've pulled into our team here. It wouldn't be where it was without the whole picture. Like, it literally is the whole thing is what makes it. There's not one cog in the wheel right now that doesn't contribute to moving it forward.
And that's what I was kind of saying about last night. Everybody sees a big night. Everybody sees an electric stream, but you don't realize there's so many little bits for years that have added into it. And I like this by Darian. He said, if you're the doctor, she's the scientist.
No, yeah, for sure. Like, yeah, like if it was like if we were like really custom endocrinology practice, right? Like I'd be the endocrinologist hormone doctor and she would be my custom compound pharmacist.
Yeah.
So we would come up with things that needed to get compounded to fix a hormone imbalance, and she would compound those things together in order to address the problem in an elegant way that didn't have adverse side effects, right? Like that would be that operation for sure.
Facts. And then Jack says, and me, the son, is the emotional support for both of them. It's hard work.
Yeah, you know, it is. You know, he's got a tall task on his hands, you know.
Yeah, no doubt.
Even when he's sick and out of school and downstairs, stuck at the office all day because we're packing Command's Corner orders and I'm getting new merch photos done. He's sick, home from school with a temperature, downstairs here with blankets and pillows at the office watching movies. So you talk about a full family operation here. Like when it's a busy day, it's all of us here, rain or shine or healthy or sick. You know, it's us. Here we are.
Yep. And yeah, there's so much to it. And Grooming's right, says, even on a live stream, he says there's so many moving parts before you go live. Yeah. And it's the job of companies like this is to make it seem easy, to make you not think about all those different parts, from the products to the streams to any aspect of it. And you got, you don't even want to know what we're about to talk about in a minute, aka the hats and the parts that move to get that going, that you don't even think about on the other side, because it's just so wild. But I do want to bring up another comment here. Ruben says Jill and Holly really know their stuff. So I love this. So Holly, if you guys are unfamiliar, she is the former owner of Sweet Tea and Biscuits, which was a bath and body company, and then was the owner of Whiskey and Hardtack, which was an amazing beard product company, and now works with Beard Octane. I love this comment here because from time to time, I will get people, oftentimes, unfortunately, it's been from company owners, where they will say something along the lines of, hey, trust a company based on their beard. Now, if you're doing that with Nick, that checks out, right? But it's kind of a ridiculous statement, because your beard in part is looking great because of your products, but it didn't make your genetics like that. It didn't make your patience, your commitment, like all that stuff. It has nothing to do with your products or your company.
Right.
I've heard that statement, and then these are the two exact reasons why that's a ridiculous statement. Jill formulates, makes these products. She doesn't have a beard. Holly was one of the pioneers of the industry, still to this day has set the standard on so many aspects and is as knowledgeable or more than anybody in the entire industry, doesn't have a beard. You can be an absolutely amazing beard product owner, beard product creator, beard product developer, and not have a beard. You can be a female and be the best of the best. So Ruben, I agree. And I love those examples right there.
Yeah, those are awesome examples. And if you look at it, I mean, it's like, in my mind, you know, it's two of the top product lines in the industry right now are literally formulated and managed by women.
Yes.
You know, it's behind every strong man, there's a strong woman, kind of a saying, right? I mean, it's like one of those things, like there is something to be said for the woman's touch, right? I mean, it's not like just a saying. There is a certain amount of creativity and right-brainedness that I do not possess, that Jill does.
For sure. And we'd love to show love. We'd love to acknowledge all those. And we got more stuff. But first, I'm going to drop a comment. All right. I'm going to drop a comment in the chat right now. And I would like for you guys to click this to explore. I'm going to do the same. Nick, your head. Would you like to talk about that?
Well, aside from the fact that it goes very well with what I happen to have on today, everyone will notice that it is a marked different hat. There is a number of things different about it. First of all, it's the first one we've done outside of our normal black color scheme. We're expanding, just like you guys have asked. We've expanded the hat selections with 4, not 1, not 2, not 3, 4 new hat designs. They are contained on the website under apparel. You can find them under the new straight rim hat skull front, Yupong 6089. And we have 4 colors available. We have the charcoal, we have white on black, we have white on black, we have white on white, and we have black on black. And these are all the same embroidery stitching with the foam puff underneath the skull and the flat stitching around it. And they're the same Yupong 6089 6-panel hat, green bottom. And just to give you a kind of a view of all these here, you got this guy that I'm wearing right here. Gorgeous. And one thing you'll notice about this that changed is we got rid of the stitching on the left side. So it is a clean all the way around hat, except for the raised logo there on the front. And all of the others follow suit. We have the exact same one we had before, except no stitching on the side. Okay. Then we got this guy here, which is our black on black. And I think this guy is just sexy. That is a cool looking hat. And it's got a nice rise in the front. It's clean, really nice. White on white. It actually pops really well on in person too. The thread color is slightly different than the natural acrylic in the hat. Interestingly enough, this color is not called white in the Yupong catalog. This is actually their natural acrylic. So it's essentially undyed acrylic. And it's the white wool and undyed acrylic. So really nice looking. And then later today, probably later today, we might do it later this week when we add more inventory on these existing ones. We had like an initial shipment, and so we could have them kind of available here today on stream, and the rest of them come in Thursday. So if you go on and any of these are sold out, just make yourself a note. They'll be restocked probably Friday morning, and we'll send out an Instagram post about that. But this one will get added along with it, which is a new style. It's a new model of hat. It's a new style of stitching. It has a leather patch on the front. You can see it's this really cool layered full grain leather. And if you can see, there's a little bit of a lip. You can kind of see it there. It's actually the same piece of leather, but it's 2 layers. It's like a brown underneath and a black on top. And they laser it, and then they peel off the black that was lasered off. And you're left with like this 2-tone kind of a patch, which is neat. This is the same Richardson 112 that we have on the site currently in black, except you'll notice this is a 5-panel instead of a 6-panel. So there's no stitch down the front. And I actually like the way that I like the way the patches and embroidery look on a flat front, but you don't get the same sacrifice that you get with the Yupong 5 panels, which they fit a little shallower. But you can see with this one, if I put this one on, this guy here sits just like the other ones do, if not a tiny bit deeper even. So if you wanted a Richardson with the mesh back and the curved bill, but you didn't like that it sat a little higher up, you can kind of see here how close that is to my ears. And when I put on glasses, they still fit. They don't touch the hat, but they don't have a bunch of skin showing above them either. So it's it's a great look. And I think I'm probably going to stick with these 5-panel 6089s when we do more of them, but these will be up on the site. We're doing this in a few more colors. We're probably going to do this one in black with a silver and black leather patch on the front, which will look really cool also. So there's some more of those coming as well.
Yeah, and I oftentimes with those curved trucker, they aren't deep enough for my head. And so oftentimes it's like I feel like they're just floating on top. And that's why I like the other kind more. And so that's exciting that one sits deeper.
It does. I'll send you one out and you can see what you think. We're going to be getting more in later this week. So, check the box next week. We'll have some stuff in there for you.
Yeah. And can they see the back of the one you have on now, or that type? Perfect.
So here's the back of the 6089, and here is the back of the 112 Richardson.
So sick.
Yeah, they're really clean. I mean, they're just nice hats.
Heck yeah. And now what are we looking for? Is this something you hope to keep in stock? Is this a limited run?
Nope. These are going to be new permanent ones for the most part, unless we see that, one of them doesn't do well for whatever reason and we can't reorder them at the volume that we need to. But we're going to have all of them up. We're going to restock all of them Friday, and all the hats that we bring on, unless noted being a special edition of some sort, we're going to try to just kind of bolster up what we always have available so people have options.
Awesome. And also, guys, shout out to great people helping each other out and getting better together. Dr. Nix has some exciting stuff possibly in the works with my man Jason. Just a great dude.
What's up, Jason? How's it going, man? I owe you an email and it's on my calendar this afternoon.
Perfect. And a different Jason. We have two JPs in here. Shout out to JPs. We've got multiple Jasons in here, and I'm sure we got other names. So get that. Okay, there's literally two JPs. There's literally two Dan B's, and I've seen multiple Jasons in here.
Yep.
How do you have two JPs and two Dan B's?
I don't know.
That's wild. But do you plan on doing any more curved Yupong hats?
So yeah, if you guys want them, right? The Richardsons did much better than the Yupongs in the trucker side of things, and those are the ones that I typically wear. And so I was kind of gravitating towards Yupongs for straight rims, Richardson for truckers, because that definitely makes things a little easier. And when I did the Yupong and the Richardson trucker side by side, that was really to figure out which one people liked better. And we definitely got better feedback on the Richardsons as far as the trucker hats go. But if anyone is screaming saying, no, I love the Yupong truckers, I have no problem with stitching up a smaller subset of those to go along with the Richardsons. So if you guys want the Yupongs, let me know.
Super cool. JP says doppelganger stream, right? Like JP, I mean, I know it's not like the most rare name in the world, but it's not something I come across every day other than my man JP and then other JP in here. And it's like, you're in the same stream. It's so cool.
Ooh, matching shirt colors. I kind of like that idea.
Just Robert, shh, don't get Nick going. No, just kidding. Yeah, those would be sexy.
I do like that idea.
Yeah. In G squared, the difference is just, I would imagine the difference is how it sits deeper on the head for the Richardson.
Yeah, it is. Oddly enough, the Yupong is a little shallower, and the Richardson fits a little further down. One of the weird things that I noticed, and I think this might be what people liked about it more, when you look at the Richardson, you look at it, you're like, oh, that's kind of a sloped front on that thing. But what I've noticed is for some reason, it creates a better shape in the front of my head. I feel like the Yupong touched my head too much.
Agreed. It goes back too far.
Agreed. The slope, it like sits on your head and there's no air right here.
Yep.
I don't know. Something always irked me about it.
Same. You need a little bit.
You do. And I don't want like the Dixon hat where it's like a billboard in front of my head.
Yes. I don't want, I know you have one that I'm always like, that thing's like a 10 head.
Dude, it literally
is. It your duck one that's real big?
And there's the duck one that I have that one's a Yupong, and that one does look big, but I think it's a style of 6089.
I know there's one we've talked about before.
It's the Dixon one. It's the one that has like the feathers around it almost in the circle. Like that thing is easily this much taller than this hat.
Yeah.
Like it's big.
It is. And I think they want like a big front for advertising and stuff. I get it. Yeah. But
I get it too, but like, man.
Yeah. Big melon squad. So I've not tried these yet, but I have a big melon. Nick, you have a pretty big melon, right?
I do. Yeah.
There you go.
I do. I'm on 3 snaps. So, that's where hats fit me.
Yep.
So it's not by any means a small head.
Yeah, I'm on 3 right now too. I'm usually on 2, but I think I'm losing a little bit of brain, so my head's getting smaller.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah.
As your kids get older,
your skull shape changes with your brain, right? That makes sense.
Yeah, that's
sarcasm, people. I'm being sarcastic. I can't ever leave a stream without somebody like not taking my sarcasm, and I'm like, I thought I was abundantly clear that I was sarcastic, but now I think
I've made it abundantly clear that I'm usually sarcastic. So it's
right. Just take it with the sarcasm. So yes, I know my skull shape is not going to change with my brain, guys. I got it. Leo says another thing forgotten when judging a beard length, that beards can be trimmed. Right. I know. Yes, absolutely. Don't judge a book by its cover. Yep. Spot on. All right. And then Donald wants to know summary Friday. What is going to be available with the Richardson?
What colors will be just this one? This one's the only new Richardson coming up on Friday. But the rest of them are probably going to be coming in fairly short order in the next couple of weeks. So you'll see that one up by itself, and then you'll basically have variants listed on that site that start popping up. And we will do, hey, new color drop on Instagram, that kind of stuff, just to keep everybody in the loop.
And we got a lot of people.
Imagine we're going to see this in a black and gray and gray and black with flipped colors on the patch. So you'll probably have a gray front, black back, gray back, black front, and then we're going to have the black patch with silver behind it, and then we're going to have the gray patch with black behind it. So
my brain,
some good variation.
A lot. And as Jill pointed out, as well as the original black Richardsons.
Yes. Yep. Mm-hmm. We got, so absolutely right. So we're going to have the 6-panel original black Richardsons along with these new ones. And we're going to be the ones that are coming with the old Richardsons as well that are going to come into this. They're going to be on the old hat, the 6-panel, but they're not going to have any of the stitching on the side because we didn't like the way that stitching pulled the mesh. And no matter what we did with backings and other stuff, I don't feel like it ever looked all the way right. So whoever has those are forever going to be OG vintage Dr. Nick's hats. We're not going to be doing anything else with the embroidery on the side, most likely.
Yeah, legacy. Yep, no
legacy
doubt.
Hats.
Yep, no doubt. And Leo says, I always buy hats in person. Size don't seem to be standard. I would say the exception is if you know the model. Only the model of the hat.
Style number, model number, whatever you want to call it.
So if it's a Richardson so-and-so, Yupong so-and-so, I personally, I have a lot of hats, I've never had any variation within that. However, I know not most people don't have every style of hat or know the brand of it, but I do think a lot of people know, hey, I like this kind of Richardson, or I have this one, so I totally get that unless you know the specific model, whatever the term would be there,
whatever vernacular you want to use.
Yeah. And Walter, I know why you're asking this. He says, would you do a black and golden new hat would look so crisp? Walter, correct me if I'm wrong, but what college team do you cheer for? I have a feeling it has to do with that. If I'm thinking correctly, I think his college team is black and gold.
I actually really like the idea of a black and gold one, man. That would be really cool.
Yeah.
I'm writing that one down, Walter. I like it.
Yeah. You can never go wrong. And Leo says, finding the right model is tricky. Yeah, nope. So to give you guys, again, a peek behind the curtains, when Nick started looking for hats, he was like, hey, I want to get the best possible hats. Let's both do some research and see what we can come up with. All I did, my camera's not on, but all I did was go over to my wall and I literally went by each one. I'm sending Nick pictures. I'm like, I like this about this model. I like this about this model. I probably had 20 different models, and Nick was at least close to it with matching the amount of models he had on his side. And so we had the fortunate ability of checking just about every single thing on the market.
We did, in our own collection of hats.
Right. We didn't even have to buy anything. So we were fortunate there. And Walter says, Dan, no need to call me out. And his fiance says, Dan's too funny. You know him too well. I do take pride in getting to know my friends. And when he said black and gold, I was like, I know where his mind's going there.
Oh, yeah. I wonder what it is here. He's not telling us.
Yeah. So, oh man, I love that, guys. So cool. And Darian says it really well here. He says, I'd walk around and support Dr. Nick's either way, but it's a nice bonus that the merch is killing it with the design.
Oh, dude, right on, man. I love that.
Yep.
And you guys are going to be so stoked on some of the stuff coming. Like it's, we have more new things coming too. We got more hoodies coming out soon. We got some different graphics that are coming out that are going to be on the backs of some of these new hoodies.
Stop it.
We got some really creative stuff. We have I'll clue you guys in. This isn't going to be like a next week or a week after that kind of thing, but it's coming probably before Christmas. We have someone working on a really cool stylized version of our logo. And I'll just give you a little hint. This person normally designs album covers for metal bands. So you can kind of guess what things might be coming with our logo on some of that new stuff. But I think you heavy metal guys out there, guys and girls, I should say, are really going to like this one. I know a few people I know for a fact that are going to be like, okay, when's that getting here?
Yep. And Jill says she will make sure it's ready before Christmas.
Perfect.
There we go. Bobby,
I didn't. That means I don't get in trouble. She does.
Right. Screenshot now.
Jill said it.
And shout out to Bobby, big fan of Dr. Nix and speaks very, very highly of you guys all over the place. And he said last night was something special for sure.
Dude, because of you guys. I mean, dear goodness. I mean, I'm still just blown away from last night. I'm going through, and I'm not kidding. I'm going to actually be taking those video clips of that live chat and the things Dan says. And, our marketing team wants videos that talk about our products. I'm not going to talk about them. I'm not going to showcase them. I'm going to let what you guys said be the video that talks about our products.
Yep. And we do have to be fair. We do have to be transparent here. And when Nick is wrong, we have to call him out, you guys, and we got to hold him accountable. And I am not afraid to be that person. I'm not a yes man in anybody's life. And this is one of those situations. I hate to air it out publicly, but John says, does Yule Tree really have 5 woodsy oils in it? Now, he says that because Nick last night in stream said it had 5 woodsy oils. Now, obviously, that's not believable. And Nick is wrong because it actually has 6 woodsy oils in Yule Tree.
See, I thought it was 5 plus 1 additional, making it 6 in our blend.
Ooh.
But I thought the 6th was not an evergreen.
Ooh, firs and pines.
Listen, I'm not about to be up here questioning what's going on down there. All right, that's not gonna happen. Jill said 6. It's 6. Yeah. So I mean, like, even if I went down and read it and read 5, I'd be like, nope, still looks like 6 to me.
Heck yeah. True North, if you stepped out and you didn't hear the discussion earlier, go replay the stream. You gotta listen to this one. Trust me on that one, my friend. The whole thing. Don't miss any of it. And again, guys, that was sarcasm. I wasn't being serious about the Nick thing. So I feel like it's a weird spot. But I feel like people be like, man, Dan is so harsh on Nick. Like, it was a joke. Guys, it was a joke. But yeah, it is a straight up woodsy scent. Darian says got a whole forest in that one.
It really does.
Straight up.
Literally does.
Yeah. And okay. All right. Couple of questions from you guys here. G Squared says, oh, by the way, he's wearing a mix of growth stem and number 7 today. Wonderful. That's a cool blend.
Well, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, well, if we're in the business here of calling people out when they're right and they're wrong, I just had to double check my science here.
Oh, no.
There is 5 firs and cypresses and et ceteras. And then the additional that makes it 6 oils is not an evergreen.
Is it a berry variety?
It's a berry.
Okay.
It is a berry variety.
I was thinking that same thing. And so...
It's okay. It's okay, Joe. We're all wrong once in a while in public.
But if it's a berry that comes from a fir or pine source, could that be considered? Sir. What's that?
No, sir.
Okay. All right. Okay. John goes, uh-oh, here we go.
I have a feeling I'm not getting lunch today.
Jill, I was on your side. Jill. I got your back. Once it gets past 5, I can't count anymore. I got one hand. So
she's saying check again.
Oh my gosh.
Gonna go down in history.
The battle of the Yule Tree. John, look what you did. We all blame, look at him, he's hiding. John, this was all you. It was not me in any way, shape, or form leading the and while Nick's double checking here, G Squared is it 50-50 mix of the growth stem, that thick oil with number 7. That's interesting. Sounds wonderful. A little bit thicker, but not entirely thick. You get that mix of the peppermint rosemary, but also with some citrus and a little pine. Ooh, not bad. That's a little.
I kind of like that idea. Like I think citrus goes really, really well with rosemary and with peppermint. And no one really does anything with peppermint citrus. Like that's not a super common scent profile to see. Yeah. And I actually really like it.
I've got a collab that's got like 6 peppermint or 6 mint scents and 6 citrus scents in it. It's really like complex and layered. And it's like confusing to your brain at first, but it's wonderfully refreshing.
What is that? Oh, I said, just so I don't know if she's going to admit this in public, but I sent her a quick little Teams message here and I got back up. Oh, I read this one and this one as separate oils when I was looking through ingredients lists here. When we first put this thing together, when we first put this blend together, I understand why we're confused. There's been up to like 10 different
Wow.
oils in that blend. Before we landed on Yule Tree, making it perfect, we actually had, dear God, we had 10 different variations of it, but one of them I think had like up to 11 different botanicals in it. And we finally slimmed it down. It went to like 4, it went to 6, so it has been all over the place before we landed on that perfect one. Because when you have that many oils, dear God, it's hard to figure out which ones, they all smell good. It's hard to figure out which ones smell the best. You
Yeah.
get all those things together and you're like, oh man, well, that smells good. That smells good. That one smells good.
Mhm.
So it's like that Yule Tree, I know for a fact, it went through a lot of iterations with us.
Yeah. Jill, you messed up by acknowledging that. You need to take a play from Sam's in the other room too, by the way, guys. She's probably listening. You got to take a play from Sam's playbook, and you never admit that ever. You take that to your grave, Jill. You change topics no matter what. Never, ever, never relinquish that.
No, you know what's funny though is like with Jill and I, we mess with each other so bad when we know one of us is right about something and we know the other one's wrong. We turn it into like this fun, torturous game where, like, okay, for example, if she said it was 6 and I said it was 5 and there was no way to prove it, right? Imagine that. If she asked for like a 6-pack of like bubbly from the store a week from now, I would take one out of that box and I'd give her 5.
Yeah.
And she'd be like, there wasn't 6 bubblies in that box. There was only 5. I'm like, oh, what else only has 5? And I'd keep it. She knows. And like, right. I know too. Like if one of us is wrong about something, we have to admit it right away, because otherwise we will torture each other very, very passive aggressively for months to come until one of us caves.
That's great. That's great.
It's like one of my favorite things in the whole world.
Oh my gosh. All right. X-ray. Now we have touched on this before and there are plans, but maybe you can give an update, and maybe there's no update, but a lot of people love your company and they want it to do it all with Dr. Nick's from head to toe, right? Body wash, face wash, everything. One area that a lot of guys have been requesting is a form of a stripping wash, whether it's a liquid wash, whether it's a solid. Any updates on a liquid or solid or anywhere in between, a version to be able to strip your beard from your company?
Yeah, absolutely. So I don't have a timeline for it yet, but it's not as far out as, say, all natural deodorant, right? Head shampoo and head conditioner are both coming very, very, very soon. And we've figured that out. We're literally working on packaging and labeling. The blend is done, and we're really happy with it. And it's going to get released right away. And basically, it's going to come out in number 7, citrus, lemon zest, and pine. But lemon zest, citrus fruit, pine, I should say, number 7. And it's also going to come out in peppermint rosemary right away. So head shampoo and conditioner is coming. As far as the stripping stuff goes, we are absolutely going to be introducing a once a week stripping wash. No timeline on it yet. We're still kicking back and forth the pH that we want. And also we think there's one additional ingredient to our normal beard wash that we're going to be looking for to introduce. We got to make it play well with everything else. So we're basically, the concept work is done. The roadmap is there for it. We're just working on formulation finals for that. And then it's going to move on to the rest of the process, packaging, labeling, et cetera, stuff like that. So it is coming. I can't give you a timeline yet, but just know it's something that we have close on the on deck list.
Beautiful. All right. And I don't know if you can share anything or everything or nothing, but do you have any Black Friday plans for Dr. Nick's?
We do, and we're still finalizing them. We're not doing, we don't put up our Christmas decorations on November 1st. We don't skip, we don't celebrate things super. You see these people out there releasing their Black Friday sales today, this week, early Black Friday. We like to do Black Friday specials as Black Fridays, and there's still a couple of things we're kicking around. So we're probably going to announce all of our Black Friday specials next week, and it's going to be a true Black Friday special. I think we're going to run it Black Friday through Cyber Monday. And it's going to be basically a 4-day sale. Starts on Friday at midnight after Thanksgiving and goes till 11:59 on Cyber Monday Eastern time. But just rest assured, you're going to get some awesome sales. The sales are compatible with, Dan's discount code, for example, and other affiliates. And, we're not going to be playing any games or excluding anything or anything else. It's going to be just like what we did last year. It's going to be a really good deal. It'll be a great way to stock up for the end of the month here and, stock up for Christmas presents if you want to, be getting things for friends.
Love that.
I'm going to try to do something cool where maybe if you give gift cards as a gift, a percentage of that comes back to you in the form of a credit or a gift card as well. So we're going to be doing some neat add-ons in addition to some neat discounts.
Super cool.
Yeah.
And then another thing that I would love, and I know you guys could do it. I know you're developing. Jill is going through every possible way on a deodorant. Talked about that last night. What about a face scrub? Not a daily thing, but like an activated charcoal face scrub, not for the beard, but something that you could use once or twice a week.
Yeah, and actually we've ordered and have been playing with some exfoliant properties that we can use. We like some better than others, and what's interesting is that some of them work really well for Jill and some of them don't work for me, and vice versa. So our goal is to find a happy middle ground of a scrub that actually works for Jill and works for me. And that way, if it's in your shower, it's going to hopefully work for you and the other people in your lives. So we are working on that.
Love that. And I definitely, because I've prompted, I told them ones that I enjoy and then see what they could do, because that's important to me. Literally today, I used a face scrub. The only day of the week I do not use Dr. Nick's face wash is the one day I use a face scrub.
Nice.
And yeah, and today was actually that day. And the only reason why is I showered real late last night because the stream went late and I was just buzzing. I talked to you for like an hour. And so I didn't shower till like 1 o'clock last night. And so I used the face wash, and then I got up early this morning, 6 or whatever, and went to shower. I'm like, man, I just used that face wash. I don't know if I want to go back to it again. So I'm like, oh, let me switch it up. And I went to the scrub.
Hell yeah.
And Jill said exfoliation should not be a textured based thing for face. It should be a chemical based, in her opinion. Okay.
Yeah. And that's why I mentioned exfoliant ingredients, right? It's not necessarily going to be your typical, pumice or, walnut shells or whatever it could be. A lot of that stuff is just way too harsh for your face. It's great for body scrubs, but a lot of those little microderm things and that you use on your face, some of them can be a little too harsh and abrasive. So we do want to find a nice mix of something that's going to give, both a physical and a chemical based, exfoliation process.
Yeah. And Brennan, Nick pretty much answered it there. I have not found a textured base scrub that would be good for the beard. I recently did some research on sugar scrubs for the beard. And it's actually a really bad idea, like really, really bad idea. And so, Brennan, probably not likely, just due to that fact alone. It's hard to control where you're getting the exfoliation and when you cross the line into abrasions. And where you have abrasions, you get bacteria. There's all sorts of bad things you don't want.
Yeah, there's some crazy stuff that can happen, especially with the abrasiveness on your face. Like, your skin can actually start like this repair process if it senses too much abrasion on your face. Yeah. And people have that problem when they do like the microdermabrasion treatments at estheticians.
Yeah,
they talk about just like you hammer on a tattoo too long, it starts rejecting ink and it starts getting waxy and angry. Your skin on your face does the same thing. It starts fighting off whatever you're trying to use to exfoliate it. And obviously you don't want that.
Right. Yep, absolutely. And if you do scrub, as Brennan said, I recommend a comb or a scrubber. I don't know if that's something that you guys have come across and maybe brand come up with the perfect scrubber and have that, because you don't do tools right now. And I don't know if there's any plans for tools in the future.
Oh yeah, there absolutely is. Combs, toiletry bags, loofah cloths.
Oh yeah,
we really like that idea. And so a lot of that stuff, it comes down to finding the right things. Like, you don't even know the size of that. We're going to donate all of these toiletry bags that we've been getting samples of, because we have a pile of them downstairs. And we get in these samples, we work with someone, we come up with the design we like, we get it in, and I touch it and feel it, and I'm like, fine, sure. Like, we could use any of these, but none of them do anything for me, and I wouldn't want to use them. Like, I use nice toiletry bags, and I want ours to be something that I'm going to use. So, a lot of this stuff is things we could have come out with a while back. It's combs, everything. There's so many things that I've found that I could slap our name on, just like everyone else who buys this stuff and slaps their name on it does. I just won't do it, and if it's going to be the difference of a $20 toiletry bag on our website or a $100 one that's really nice, I'm going to sell them for $100 and they're going to be nice and they're going to be heirloom quality. You're going to be able to keep it for 40 years. You know, that's what we're going for with everything. But the tools, absolutely. I love the idea of an exfoliator for your face. I like the loofah wash for the cloth for the shower. I'd love to come up with a good range of combs, but you know, they got to be better than what I use, and they got to be something I want to use every day.
Yep. Lots of new stuff coming, you guys. Just know that if something comes from Dr. Nick's, it has been researched, it has been brainstormed, it has been tested, it is through the process because they have a huge list of things coming in the future. Even with the stuff that have been released already, they really vet the process. Like when Nick brings up some of those, I'm like, oh my gosh, we did talk about a loofah alternative like 9 months ago. I even remember Leo in the chat giving some perspective about loofahs.
Mhm.
And I think he had talked about one that's kind of like a disposable one, if I'm not remember or mistaken.
Mhm.
And so we've had these discussions for a long time and they're definitely there. And like Jill said, she's had, I think, 10 different versions of the deodorant base and stuff. And it's not going to go unless it's right. And
Right.
so just rest assured with that, you guys. That's a good feeling to know if something's released, it's not rushed and it's not crap.
Yeah. No, it's gonna be quality. That's for sure. You know, it was funny is I had a place do outbound marketing reach out to us, and they were a branding company and they specialize in merch and they specialize in apparel. They do, you know, accessories, they do laser engraving across glasses, all sorts of stuff. And I was like, well, you guys might have something that, you know, we're looking for. You know, I'm looking for this and that. And, you know, can you recommend some good options? And they're like, well, no, what we do is we come up with the items that you want, and then we produce them for you and send them all to you at once. And I was like, well, can you send me samples of each thing that you'd be printing on and this and that, and options for like the bags and options for glasses? They're like, we have one bag, we have one style of glass. That's the one we use. And no, we don't send out really, you know, samples of them. And I was like, well, it's not going to work. Like, I'm going to like this and that, and I'm not going to like that. I'm not going to like that. No. They're like, well, most people just tell us they want a glass, they want a bag, they want a comb, they want this, and they want 3 new hats. And we design and we source the material to do everything else. And I'm like, you guys don't understand who you're talking to. Like, you know, that's the work that I do across, you know, all the things available in the market. And I pick which ones I like and which ones my customers are going to like. And that's what we'll use. And they're like, oh, you know, we don't have anybody who does that. That's way too picky for our process. And I said, okay, well, thanks, but no thanks. We're not for you. You're not for us.
Yep. So be it. All right, guys, we are getting ready to go. Nick will give some kind of final thoughts and reflections about the stream last night and the stream today. Next week, 1 p.m. Eastern, we are going to be live. I want you guys to make this one. There may be a little mobile tour involved. There may be talking about some growth of the company, maybe introduce. There's a lot. So be here next Tuesday, guys. I am very, very excited to be able to hang out. Oh, and Nick doesn't even know this. I will be mobile, or I will be remote that day. We are going to Wisconsin. I believe it will be next week, but we will be here regardless, same time, same place, and it's going to be a really good one. We were talking about it right before the stream, and man, I am really, really excited for you guys to see and hear about some new things. Other than that, Nick, final thoughts, reflection, the stream last night, the stream today, the people in the chat, what you got for them? Oh, you are muted there, Nick.
I'm going to mention why my mute's on over and over again here this stream, and it's actually going to be something that you guys get to see next week. We have guys downstairs making an absurd amount of noise right now. I'm not sure if you guys can hear it. My little volume meter doesn't seem to be going off when I hear air guns and saws and everything else. But the future showroom, the retail space that people will be able to come visit here at Dr. Nick's is well under construction. The new floors are getting put in today to complement the new walls and paint that we put in there a couple of months ago. It's also refinishing Jill's new office, which she's going to be moving out of the production space because it's getting too busy in there. And Shelly, our new girl who is packing and doing shipping and receiving, she's kicking Jill out, and she's moving into the shipping and receiving. Jill has production. Jill's got her own office now over on the other side, right next to the showroom. It's going to be awesome. It's coming together. It's looking great. And so next week, I hope to talk about the growth of the company, some of the things that we're doing, some of the things that we are, switching up to support the growth, all good stuff. Obviously, nothing's going away, nothing crazy. And then hopefully, if we have time, I'm going to go mobile, and I'm going to bring you guys in and show you the new floors and show you the walls. And with any luck, by next Tuesday, we will have my beautiful wife sitting down in there in her new dedicated space, and you guys will be able to say hi to her as well. So I'm excited for next week. Lots of good stuff. But man, this one, time flies as usual. And I can't believe it's been an hour, and people probably can believe it's been an hour. It's probably wondering where the hell I am down there to help with all the madness that ensued from Command's Corner last night.
Right. Sorry, Jill.
It was an insane night, and it was so cool because of all of you guys. Like it just having all of you there, just showing the love, showing the support for people who haven't tried our brands yet, hearing straight from you guys what you think about it is so much more powerful than hearing it from us. So we just cannot tell you thank you enough, because that's the most powerful branding that we can do, is people who haven't tried our products and haven't experienced the Dr. Nick's difference hear from people who have, and much less passionate people who have, and supportive people. So, I mean, just thank you a million times. Thank you. I mean, it's just you guys showing up and showing that support for us just means the world to us. It's going to help continue us to grow, which is going to help keep us making new, cool stuff for you guys and bringing new things to market. So just, I guess I'll end today with just that. I'm full of appreciation, and thank you guys just so much for the love and the support. And we will keep doing it, and we will keep being the reasons that you guys say the things that you say. That's all I can really say. And we'll see you next week, 1 o'clock. We're going to have some more fun, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your week, and hopefully getting prepped up for Thanksgiving next week. Maybe we'll talk about turkey and stuff too next week, and talk about what you guys are doing to prep for Thanksgiving, what kind of brine you do. And I'm a dry brine guy, so, we might talk about, some brining techniques. I don't know. It might go crazy. Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right, guys, we will